Hello. Well, like I was told you, maybe you saw on the biscuit video, they're bringing the big guns in here to make this loaf of bread. You know, making bread is somewhat of a science, and it's almost like taking care of plants. How two people one of them kills the plant and doing the exact same thing, and the other one, the plant flourishes. I think making bread is almost the same darn thing. And I've had the responsibility in our family to making the bread, so she wanted me to do it for this recipe. In here I have 3 cups of flour mixing right now. I'm adding 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 4 teaspoons of SAP instant yeast. We found that SAP instant yeast is a great yeast to use, you know, and you can find it on the internet, and it is cracked. The yeast is cracked, so so it responds quicker than regular yeast, and does a great job with gluten, and is gluten-free. Anyway, I'm adding those dry ingredients, and I typically do that, you know, while I'm mixing the wet ingredients. The wet ingredients include, this is on the internet, it's 4 eggs, a 3/4 of a teaspoon of apple cider. That's sort of a preservative in it. 1/8 cup of oil. We use grape oil, you can use vegetable oil, and 1 3/4 cups of milk. In this case, because we have the milk for the buttermilk for the biscuits, I'm using buttermilk today, but you can use regular milk, and you can use water. Actually, I really couldn't tell a heck of a lot of difference between milk and water. For you guys out there that are lactose, or the almond, like we did with the biscuits. You know, one of the keys is not over mixing. I was mixing that in the dry state. Now that I've got the wet in here, it should be, you know, maybe 90 seconds is probably all you're going to need to do, and it should be more than sufficient. Let me just get this kind of, make sure that all that gets mixed in there. And you know, you want to make something a little bit more consistent than cake mix, a little thicker than cake mix, but it's about all you have to do. This looks like it's mixed pretty good, and I'll take it out of there and put it into a bread pan. Okay, I've mixed this batter, and like I said, you can see it's fairly thick, and I'm going to put it in our bread pan. It's pretty simple. You know, Domata is ancient Greek, and it means gift of God, and we really believe it is a gift of God around here. Let me get my hands wet. As I say, I washed them very good before we started here. But this is another kind of little trick you need to do is smooth it down in that pan. Which I do. You know, the one thing about gluten-free is that you can't have double rises because there's no gluten. And if you beat the heck out of it and you try to get a double rise out of it, you're going to make yourself a brick. It's not going to do anything. Really, you got to have your hands wet. so it doesn't stick to this batter. And then I just kind of get it in there, get it smooth, and sort of like that. And we're ready to go over and find a warm spot, which I've already got going in front of our fireplace. So I'm going to take this over there and let it double in size. You know, yeast is a living organism, and you'll kill it at 140 degrees. It grows and lives best in 90 to up to 100, you know, in 20 degrees probably. It's its best environment, high humidity, of course, and it'll go great. But anyway, this should take about, I cover it, I got it in front of the fireplace here, and it should take about 45 minutes, and it'll double in size. And then you saw how easy that was to do. And wow, look at this. Our bread has come up to the top of the pan, so it's ready to go in the oven. Okay, here it is, guys. One rise, and right up to the top. It'll get another additional jump once we put it in the oven. I've set the timer at 40 minutes. The first 10 minutes I'll leave it uncovered, and then the last 30 minutes we'll leave it covered. We'll cover it with aluminum tent. So here goes. Oh man, look at that, I told you it'd rise some more, and it sure did. Oh. People, you saw me mix that, and you saw me put it in that pan, and it rose, and we got a great loaf of bread. We'll let it cool, and then we'll slice it, and you'll see the texture and what have you. But I'm going to let it cool for a minute. You saw it fell right out of this pan, and isn't that beautiful? Okay, our bread is cooled down now, so let's just see how nice it slices. Wow, look at that. How easy that was. Basically, what I do is, because this stuff is expensive, as you know, is I'll slice this loaf off and put it in plastic bags and put it in the freezer. And then when I need some toast or want to make a sandwich or whatever, I just take it out and it's ready to go. Is that beautiful? This is Domata. Praise God. Thank you for listening and watching us today. And God bless you. Bye.